Well, my personal theory on that is it's going to be the same way they've done many of the things. The day of a communist flag flying in America and the title, socialism or communism, I don't think we're going to ever see that, because it has such a disgust in the taste of people's mouths that they would run from it. But here's how they'll work it. This is my theory again, and they'll do it the same way they do with the gun laws or any law that they're not going to take away your Second Amendment right. They're not going to take away your First Amendment right. They're just going to make it so hard for you to exercise it. For instance, with the gun rights, they're, oh, no, you can have guns. You just can't have this kind of gun and this kind of magazine. And if you accidentally leave it in the car and someone else is in the car, you can become a felon. And I mean, they make it so hard that people are like, yeah, I don't think I want to own a gun. I don't want to accidentally become a felon. I think it will be the same way with the vaccinations. I don't know for say that they will force the vaccination, just like they wouldn't take away your guns, but they're going to make it so hard for you that you're going to have to, or they're going to think that you're going to have to. I'm not going to take it. But for instance, oh, no, we're not saying you have to take the vaccine, but you can't fly on an airplane. Oh, and you can't go shopping at these locations, and you can't go into government buildings, and you can't go to sports or concerts. And so it's going to be like, no, you don't have to take it, but you can't do any of these things unless you do. So it's going to create the tendency for people to just comply rather than cut through all the red tape. Just think about it, if you're a gun owner and you're aware of some of the gun laws, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, how it's so hard. They make it so hard for you to exercise your right that many people don't exercise that right just because they don't want to cut through that red tape. That's what I foresee, the forced vaccinations. They're not going to be forced, but by way of mandated that everyone has to take it. Society is just going to be so pressured into taking it that if you don't, there's very little you could do. And at that point, the same way we've been through all of 2020 without even wearing a mask one time, we'll go through and just, no, we're not taking the vaccine. If I can't shop at Walmart, then I won't shop at Walmart. If I can't go to sports games, that's okay. I don't go anyway. If I can't fly on an airplane, well, I'm a local pastor. I just won't do any missions trips. We'll find ways to keep doing the work of God without taking the vaccination.
Well, elaborating on that a little bit, there are a lot of smaller towns out there and a lot of communities to where they only have singular grocery stores or singular consumable stores. And if they require a vaccine to get in, these people aren't going to be able to even survive, to buy food, much less even consumable needs.
Right. And this kind of goes part to the Great Reset, where we bring out how that it's a precursor for the mark of the beast. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying the vaccine is the mark of the beast, because in the Bible, in Revelation 14, in order to receive the mark of the beast, you have to worship the image of that beast. So, there's people who are afraid, like, oh no, what if I accidentally get the mark of the beast and don't know it? That's not how the mark of the beast will come. The mark of the beast will roll out. You have to worship the beast in order to get it. However, the vaccine, or even the temperature where they scan your forehead before they let you walk in the door, they're checking to see if you're vaccinated if that day comes. Those are precursors. Oh, you can't buy and sell unless you scan your forehead, pass the thermometer check, or check to see if you've got the chip in your hand from the vaccine. So those are definitely precursors. But I think what will happen is, because even in the time of the mark of the beast, I think there's going to be people who avoid it. We read about that. So if you can't buy or sell without it, how are we going to eat? And I think it creates a black market. So all of a sudden now you have people who are buying groceries off of those that maybe had the mark or the vax, and then they create a little magazine or a little store out of their garage, and hey, and maybe pay a little more for it, but I think we'll find a way to buy and sell. We may not be able to go to the restaurants. We may be kicked out of society, but I think at the end of the day, there'll be a way around it. We may have to drive to the next town over. My shopping habits changed. I quit shopping at Walmart and I started shopping at Winn-Dixie. And I found that Winn-Dixie had some pretty good prices. That's a southern chain. I don't know if they have them everywhere where our viewers are. But when Dixie, they made a big public statement like, we aren't going to ask you to wear a mask. And they got backlash over it. So they put up signs. They said, well, we'll put the signs up, but we're not going to enforce it. So I said, hey, you got my business. They can put a sign up all they want. I've been shopping there. Me, my wife, all 7 kids walk in, pushing the grocery cart, not wearing a mask. Never had they said a thing. So they won my business. So it'll be like that. You may have to shop differently, think differently. I think it may create a black market for people to buy and sell without having to go into big market stores. But just like we saw during the mask mandates, how many businesses and restaurants, did you see? You saw them online where they would post saying no mask required, or they would say no mask allowed. I think you'll see a lot of that. People will resist. At least I hope so.